Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So for today's video, I have been really trying to find a way to do a makeup look where I can finally have an excuse to use the new Lilac DIOR blush. I also do have like the Poppy Coral one and I haven't used that yet either, but I think I finally am going to be able to get around to using this, and I'm going to use it in conjunction with this new palette from Sinful Echoes. I did buy this myself a while back. I already sprayed on some MAC Fix Plus just to kind of, you know, prep my skin a little bit, and then I did put on some eye cream. So to start off with, I'm going to put on a little bit of primer in the T-zone of my face. It is so humid and I don't want to jack up my AC bill by running it, so the house is just sticky and there's just nothing I can do about it. It's so damp in here right now, it is disgusting. So I'm going to put on a little bit of this MCGRATH primer. Back when I used to actually like have to go out a lot during the summer, this was definitely my primer of choice. I've actually gone through already 2 bottles of this. This is my third, but this third one has lasted me a very long time because I just haven't really had a need to use it as often as I used to. Put this on the inner T-zone of my face. It should help my face from turning into a disco ball by the end of today's filming session. I am going to use my KVD Good Apple foundation. Hold on. Before that, I'm going to use my Rare Beauty Under Eye Corrector. I've not been sleeping super good lately. Like last night, I keep forgetting to get refills of my antihistamine prescription medication, so because of that, my insomnia came back in full force last night. I didn't fall asleep until like 6 a.m. So my under eye dark circles are out to play today. Okay, and now I use the shade Light 004. Could be better, but as far as foundations go, it's one of the better ones for me. I really do want to one of these days do a video where I swatch all of my foundations, because I think it'll be pretty hilarious just how disparate some of them can be. Because there's like a combination of I suck at matching myself and it's hard to find matches for, you know, if you're olive. There was like a dried blot, you know, there's like you know how sometimes the foundation there'll be like a dried chunk of it, and if it's in the right spot it can like jam up the entire pump. So I'm just gonna spread out a thin layer with my finger. Basically, whenever I finally stop being lazy and I finally start using a foundation spatula like I've been meaning to for like months now, I'm just basically doing the exact same thing I would be doing with the spatula, but with my finger. I make sure, especially with this foundation, I really don't need to put on very much. So you can see, like, you can get it to be fuller coverage if you want. I have like this one little oval spot where it doesn't want to stick to my skin. Maybe it's just not agreeing with the eye cream I have on. That's better. Okay, yeah, that looks better. I don't know. It could also just be that this... I love the consistency of this sponge. It is just the perfect softness and squishiness. I really wish I had bought more backups of the Bitty sponge for all of the 3 seconds it was available for. I still don't know whatever happened to that. It was like something that Pony was doing for a while. It was like, I don't know, like a crossover between a beauty box and her own products, but like it just vanished. I can't find any mention of it anymore. I only ever bought 1 sponge because on Beauty Box Korea, the shipping, the markup and everything, it was more expensive than a beauty blender. But it was definitely the nicest sponge I've ever tried, but you know, obviously it's so old I don't have it anymore. So this is the next best one that I really like. This is actually an Innisfree, it's like the peach blender. I have it in the soft version, although this one's not always easy to find either. It goes in and out of stock. Okay, my skin is not in the greatest condition because I forgot to put on skincare last night, so my skin is looking a little bit like flaky and a little bit sunken, like not as hydrated as it could have been. I probably need to like go drink like, you know, a 64-ounce Stanley after this video is done. But I think for all the things considered that my foundation is not having a great canvas to work off of, you can see that the KVD foundation does look pretty good. Like I feel like it's a pretty easygoing foundation. It's one of the better foundations in my collection. Definitely I like it more than the balm version. I'm gonna be trying, okay, so I finally decided to bite the bullet. I had a CVS coupon, which helps because this is actually kind of expensive. But Tara Babies has been using this CoverGirl and OLAY foundation as eye primer for years, and she was talking about how it's just really great for her dry eyelids, so it finally got the better of me and I really want to try it. So I got the shade 205. She uses a shade, I think it's 200 or something, which is very hard to acquire. It's like, it's really only in Walmart. Everywhere else, Ulta included, usually starts at 205, but I think, I don't know, 200 seemed a little bit pink. I think 205 should be fine. If I decide I really like it and this is not my favorite shade, I will buy it in a better shade because I'm sure I'll get another coupon eventually, but I definitely did want to just like test this out first. Oh my god, this is so weird. Okay, I don't know, did I get like a bad product? It's like if I open it, like you think that this is the top, right? So I unscrew it, but actually it's like this. Is that right? Or did I get a bad product? That looks right. I mean, this is a very smooth. It's smooth. It doesn't look like it fell or melted. Well, the screw top actually is nicer because I think that makes it more airtight. But that was not how I was expecting it to open. So I'm just gonna try this today and we'll see what happens. We'll see if this works as an eye primer or if it's too hydrating. I definitely have been interested in trying this for a while now, especially since as a foundation it'll provide more coverage, so it'll help kind of correct the hyperpigmentation of my eyelids. Although if I really like this, I wouldn't be above getting a shade up if I ever can find an excuse to go to Walmart. There actually is not a really convenient Walmart location for me. The closest one is like a 20-30 minute drive, which for me is a pretty long time because it's not really a good idea for me to be driving, especially if I'm not having a good day symptoms wise. I really should have exfoliated. I have a lot of flakies. I need to start exfoliating more regularly. That's coming back to bite me in the butt a little bit because I have skin flakies and I can't quite get rid of them. Well, that's okay. We'll just work with what we've got. My eyelids are covered. It went on pretty well. It didn't like dry up or anything. It just had to argue with my skin flakes, which that's my bad. I'll acknowledge that. And I am going to go ahead and use some powder. Not a very lot because my skin itself is kind of dry, but I think I need a little bit. Throw on a very light layer of my COVERGIRL Brightening Moisture Powder, which is right here. Like I'm barely dipping the brush in and I'm just very lightly tapping it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put on my eyebrows as well. Probably skip through a lot of this in post. I don't want to get too boring. They're not too like dramatic today, just kind of following the natural shape of my eyebrows today. Yeah, that's not bad. So I need to watch it. I haven't really been on YouTube very much lately, but Minsko did drop a video where she finally is revealing the mascara that she teased months ago. I need to go watch that video and see which mascara it is because I need to go buy it. I actually have a really big haul on YesStyle I need to make that's been cooking for like 2 months now, but I bought maybe all of like, I bought like what, like $50 of makeup in June, which like that's how you know that I'm like extra depressed is when even the serotonin I get from opening a package doesn't satisfy me anymore. Even retail therapy won't do the trick. But I do actually need to get on my YesStyle cart because the Roman Black collection and their collab collection both dropped on YesStyle, which surprised me at how fast YesStyle picked those up, so I need to go ahead and get on buying those. Well aware of how behind on Roman I am on this channel. It will happen. I might just do a giant Roman roundup video when that collection hits my doorstep. There's one brand I still am eager to follow. It is Roman. Had a couple other things sitting in my cart too though, so it ended up being quite the large order. So I'll have to do some elimination, I think. I just realized I completely forgot to put on concealer. It is a little late for that now, so I'm just going to put on some extra powder foundation and call it a day. It just happens sometimes. And I'm just going to focus it right on the line of my tear groove to kind of minimize the contrast between light and dark, as opposed to trying to put it on top of my entire under eye dark circles, because if I do that, then I'm going to really make my under eyes look so dry and crusty. So I'm just going to focus it on that little line where my skin indents the most, and if I can reduce the contrast between those two areas, then I can make my dark circles look a lot less prominent without having to actually cover up the whole dark circle. Also, I hit pan, woo! It's been discontinued and you can't get it anymore. I do have a backup. I'm very happy about that, and it's good timing that Natasha Denona's powder foundation released. I've heard very good things about it. I was supposed to buy it during the 10x Ulta Points week when they had 10x points on foundation. I never did, and so because of that I'm so bitter about missing out on that deal that I have not wanted to buy it ever since, because I think about all the points I could have gotten, and so then I get stubborn. But it is my birthday month and there are some other point promos going on, and there's also a 20% off coupon that I can use, so I may be making an Ulta order in the next day or two before the coupon expires, because I can get, I think, like 5x points plus 20% off. Like that's okay. I can deal with that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna make an Ulta order. I hope the quality is okay. I feel like my YouTube videos, when I watch them myself, they're like potato quality. But I know sometimes YouTube on Android can be a little bit of a crapshoot, so I need to check it on like my Switch and on my desktop too, maybe on my iPad, and see what's going on. I've never had anyone comment about it, so I guess it's not a big deal, but I feel like when I'm watching it back, the quality is just like... This is the Sinful Echoes Lotus Bloom palette. It is so pretty. I'm very excited to try this. If you guys have probably picked up on it, especially with my lowered volume of videos, that I really have not been featuring any new indie palettes lately. You know, I feel like definitely it would have been expected that I would have at some point in time talked about buying like Blend Bunny Longing, the two new palettes from Cosmic Brushes, the new Odin's Eye collection. Like, I feel like, you know, historically speaking, I have a precedent of being very eager to cover those. It's just not been in the cards for me. I just really am not in a stage of life where thinking about covering and putting in the effort to do all of that is something that I can muster up right now. I am still very much still grieving, and so it's new makeup just is not something that I have extra room in my head for right now. But I had been really eager to get my hands on this, and so I went ahead and bought this, and I just have been buying a lot less of them. I also have been really into Narimi. I did buy her newer palettes recently, and whenever those arrive, some of them are with my mom, and then some of them, because they sold out so fast on Taobao, I had to buy them from the scalpers and like Look Healthy store. The markup is insane. So whenever those arrive, I'll be covering those too. So because of that, I just haven't really been buying Western indie products lately, and like part of me has so many products that I still would have loved to buy, but I thought that I would get super sad because of all the FOMO. But if I let enough time pass, you know, I'm not dead. Life is still going on, the world's still rotating, and nothing imploded. So clearly it's okay for me to miss releases once in a while, and I just kind of kept doing that. You know, my birthday is this month, and I'm probably not going to get it this month, but I really want to get my dream bag somewhere around my birthday. It's just been something that I've been looking forward to, trying to save up for like 2-3 years now, and I'd really love to make just that one final push over the edge to be able to get it maybe like in August or something. So so many factors. I still wanted to buy this because I really want to have more people get on the radar of Sinful Echoes. It is, I just really like fairly priced indie brand. I mean, like, can we just give a shout out for that? Long ramble aside, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off, I think I'm going to focus on using this little column here so that it pairs best with the blush, and maybe use a little bit of this. Like, I don't really want to like go super neon intense today. I kind of want to like keep it a little bit more grounded with Bloom. I'm going to start off with Bloom. I'm going to kind of use that as like a transition shade, and then I'll kind of decide where to go from there. Just for like context, I upload videos every Tuesday, right? And it is currently Sunday, so I really procrastinated this week. And so because of that, I'm still not really sure what look I want to do. I still want to film multiple looks using their, I think it was their Serpent palette or whatever it's called. I only ever filmed one look with that, and it was not really a look that like did the whole palette justice, and I have not been able to really use it since then, like thoroughly, fully. So I really want to someday actually give that, and Diva Rune Cosmetics, I do want to give them both a little bit more coverage since they are so small. But I think they are a lot of fun, and I love their designs and concepts, so I definitely want to spend more time on them. I'm also like on like a really big K-beauty kick right now, and then in terms of like more mainstream makeup, I am definitely really into the blush releases. I definitely am going to buy the new whenever they release. I'm not sure when. They'll probably be like August or something. I definitely want to get some of the more unconventional shades that were teased in the YSL liquid blush range. They had a lavender, they had like a yellow, like a nectar yellow. Like, I'm definitely really interested in those. Definitely most of my interest lately has been in like the K-beauty area. I was initially going to buy some stuff from Suku during Selfridges during their sale, but then I just forgot and I never did, and I don't know if I will, but I'm thinking about that still. But I'm just kind of like I'm not really buying makeup right now, especially because I'm only filming once a week. I mean, how much makeup am I going to be able to get through if I'm only filming once a week? So I'm just having to also be realistic. Like, if I could upload videos 3 to 4 times a week, then it would be more worth the investment to buy more makeup to film with, you know what I mean? I just realized I completely have forgotten to post on Instagram for about almost a month now, and my follower account dropped so fast, and I was like, oh shoot, I really need to get on that. Like, I'm the kind of person where, like, when I'm going through a really hard time or like something really, really bad or traumatic happens, I really just process things better by myself. Generally speaking, I tend to become more withdrawn when stuff like that happens. It's just because I just, you know, sometimes I just prefer to be alone to process things like that. Yeah, I like this shade as a starting shade. So next I am going to go, I really just want to go straight for Enchanted, which is this extremely dark, it almost reads as black, but it's a very blue toned purple that is extremely dark. I'm gonna start off with a little bit though, so it's not gonna like be at full opacity, because like I don't want to like, you know, give myself a ton of fallout. I've also been very busy. I have a foster kitten right now. His name is Mr. Bean and he is adorable, so I've been very busy, hands full with keeping up with his criminal activity. I spend several hours with him every single day. It's very important to do, you know, not only are they like bottomless pits, he's going through so much food, it's crazy, but you know, he's at the age where you have to really make sure that you teach them etiquette, you teach them playtime, you know, just make sure that they are learning how to be a cat, and so that takes time too, and honestly, I find that to be way more fun than scrolling online. I had taken a hiatus from fostering for a while, mostly for health reasons. I wasn't really so sure how up to it I was in the wake of not having Jackson around, because I'm just so used to basically being a two-person team with him, because he would always kind of help me raise my kittens with me. And so I wasn't really sure if I was ready to start up again, because I wasn't sure how it would go without having him around, but I think it's going alright. And once he gets his first set of vaccines and is cleared, I think he'll still enjoy meeting Sebi and the others, even if he never gets to meet Jackson. I think he still will enjoy meeting my other cats. Jackson was the best, and there will never be another cat quite like him, but Sebi also really likes kittens. He's not as good at being a parental figure as Jackson was. He just, you know, he has some more growing up he needs to do, but I still think it'll be alright. And once he is able to join the rest of the cats upstairs and he's out of quarantine, there will definitely be a little criminal cameo of the Bean. Okay, I did not notice that the recording hit 30 minutes. I took Empress on the lower lash line, and I also used Empress to blend out the purple. It's a really nice blend. I feel like I wasn't able to pack it on super well on my lower lash line, but my lower lash line is also very dry, so it's a very, like, and this is my first time using the palette, so I'm not gonna pass any judgment. I really like how this look reads as purple, but it's also not purple at the same time. Like, it's just like, it's got the purple energy, but it's not necessarily like purple in all caps. Like, it's purple in like tiny little subtext. And I really, really like that. I think that'll definitely go really, really well with my DIOR blush. So very happy so far. So I am going to now I'm like so excited to try these shimmers. Oh my gosh. I really want to use Christine, which is right down here. It like flips between purple and green. And Potion would be good too. It's a little bit, I think Potion's a little bit too, it's not necessarily warm, but the flip is not quite what I want. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try Christine. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use my finger. My finger is clean, I kind of wiped it off a little bit. And of course my first test always is to kind of feel around the texture of the shadow and see if we've got like stickiness, greasiness, oiliness, squishiness. It does feel kind of creamy to the touch, but it doesn't squish or anything like that. I know we had a phase where like those squishy intense shimmers made us all ooh and ah, but the wear time on those, if they're like done well, then I don't mind them at all because they're pretty easy to use. But if they're not done well, then the wear time on them can be so bad, and they also can dry out, and then the shelf life is not super great. Sorry if I'm not in focus. So this one, it definitely has kind of a creaminess to it, but it's not squishy by any means. This has more of a translucent base, so you could use it on top of a darker matte and just completely transform how it looks. But if I just apply it on its own, and I apply like, you know, a second layer, then it takes on its own character. And I remember when I first used the Serpent palette, I just was so blown away by the quality of the shimmers. They are so nice, so pretty. And I'm just going, I'm using what's left on the finger on my left eye, because there was still some left on my finger. I definitely think that Sinful Echoes has some beautiful shimmer shadows. Trying not to bring it out too far. I accidentally got a little bit down here because I fat fingered it. I want to go into Lace, which is kind of a more pinky toned lavender. It's not quite lavender, has a little bit more pink and a little bit more saturation to it, but it's lavender adjacent. And I'm going to use this in the inner corner. I use lavender, if I use lavender in a look, I do generally like to put it up here because this is just kind of the most flattering place for it for me personally. I don't look good in like all pastel looks, you know. I feel like especially when you have olive undertones, it can be hard to do it without looking really washed out. But an injection of pastel into the inner corners, I don't mind. This one, it's a little bit on the sheer side, but it blends out really nicely and it doesn't look dry or crusty, which some pastel shadows, I wonder if it's just because of how much white they have to add or how much like binder they have to add, but some pastel shadows, I feel like the moment I put them on my eyelid, it's like all the crusties, all the emphasis, and I'm not seeing any textural emphasis or dryness at all, which is nice. So even if it's a little bit sheer, if it doesn't show dry patches, that already makes it like top percentage of pastel for me. Yeah, and that's actually a really, really pretty shade of lavender, or kind of a pinkier lavender-ish shade. That matches really well with the rest of the tones in this palette. And then lastly, for my inner corner, I'm going to use Illusion. I think this may be a little bit too sparkly for my preferred perfect inner corner. I do tend to prefer something smoother, but I will give this a shot. Okay, I thought the shade looked super white in person, Illusion. It looked a little bit whiter in person, but on my eyelid, it kind of looks more like a green. It almost looks kind of similar to Christine. This is my only problem with these white-based iridescent shifty shades is that you never know what you're gonna get until you put it on your eyelid. It's kind of like it's a surprise every time. I feel like it's not really reading as super different from the shade I put on. Like you see, they're kind of running together, they look almost the same. They look so different in the palette. Like here in the palette, do you see how they look so different from each other? And then on my eyelids, they kind of run together. I was not expecting that. I would imagine that if you're using them on top of different matte shadows, they would look very different from each other. It's just because I'm using them both over bare skin. I'm going to try the shade Potion on my lower lash line just to see what happens. Okay, yeah, this definitely is a warmer kind of shimmer. It has more of like a gold coral shift particles in it. So it's good to use on the lower lash line, I think, but I wouldn't have wanted to use this on my eyelid. And you really don't need very much. It goes a pretty long way. And then I'm going to take Illusion and I'm going to stick that right on the inner part. At this point, if you've watched any number of my videos, you know that this is kind of a pretty typical shadow placement for me. Okay, so that is pretty much the eye look completed. And as usual, I don't think Sinful Echoes necessarily has like the best matte formula ever, but the price is really fair, the quality is really good, and the color curations so far have been a lot of fun. So I think everything put together, I really like what they put out. Okay, so I zoomed back out. I'll do my eyelashes last because I just don't feel like thinking about that right now, and I'm going to go and move on to the cheeks. So to start off with, for my contour, I have been trying to make it a point to use this more often. I'm going to use the Nudegasm palette, and I bought it pretty much only for this shade, so I'm going to use this shade. It's one of those moments where it's like, in this case, I was very much self-aware about why I was buying it, so I feel no shame. Like, it's like I knew exactly why I wanted it, and I use it for the only reason that I want it, and that's fine. I have no regrets. This is my preferred travel face palette as well, just because it's so sturdy, but I don't think I have any traveling to do this year. I was initially going to go to China sometime this summer because my mom's already there. I was maybe gonna go later and meet her there, but my grandpa is doing so well. Like, ever since his fall, he's actually been doing really, really well. So we both think that it's okay for me to wait to go next Chinese New Year, because I've never actually been to China during the Chinese New Year holiday. Usually the plane tickets are just too expensive, and it always, it happens while I'm like at school and stuff. But I think next Chinese New Year will be a great chance for me to finally go and experience the shenanigans for myself, because I've always wanted to go and like eat all the food, I think next year will be the year I go. So I don't really think any more traveling is on the books for me this year. Yeah, I don't think so. Which is probably for the best. I was out of town a lot like this spring. Okay, and now it's time for what we all came here for. And that is this DIOR blush. I remember some people saying that it was sparkly, so I'll be the judge of that. I never actually got a chance to swatch it in store before I bought it, but this is what it looks like. It is in the shade Pink Lilac, which for those who are curious, in my opinion, it doesn't really look anything like the original pink release. Now bear in mind, I have a previous formulation. So I have the one where the packaging was still lowercase. It's not the OG formulation. I think it's probably what, their second or third one, and this is what, like the third or fourth one. But I personally, in my opinion, don't really think they look all that similar. But that's gonna depend completely on like your personal taste, and I think your skin tone as well. They don't look the same, and I don't think they're gonna read the same on me either. And I know some people are like really polarized. You either love this or you hate it. I love them. Like, I'm just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't have the same experience as you, but I'll believe you. Like, I remember Jen Phelps saying she doesn't like it, and how when she uses it, it turns peach on her. And she used it, and it literally turned peach on her. And I commented saying, I cannot believe that that actually just happened to you. That is wild. It looks so pink on me. And she was like, isn't that just crazy? So, and it's $40. So if you hate it, good for you. You're saving money. So I'm gonna take a pretty generous amount. And with shades like these, it's best to not apply them up and over your whole cheek area, because it's just not really a flattering color to do that with. These look much better kind of positioned closer to inside of your face and under your eyes, kind of like this. And it kind of just fills the space. And then I will sometimes take just like a little bit of it and just to kind of slightly blend it back. So this isn't going to read as a true lavender blush. It's more of like it's more of just like an excessively cool pink. So I wasn't buying this expecting this to be the lavender blush of my dreams. I'm still very much on the hunt for that still. But I definitely am always down for slightly more purple options. I personally actually really like how it looks on me. So I bring it further in, as you can see, and I don't bring it too far out, because this is really meant to like fill the space in your face. It's like what they call on Douyin, and they call like these, they're like expanding blush tones. They're meant to fill space, and so you don't want to bring it far back. That's gonna look really weird on you. I think I might have even brought it too far down. So then after that, what I like to do is I'll take a second blush to blend into the back of that. Except for in very, very, very specific circumstances. I pretty much never use blush that's this purple toned on its own. I just don't have the skin tone to pull it off, really, I'll be honest. So I'm going to take the 3CE blush and Let Me Stay, and I'm going to use this, and this is going to be my contouring blush to kind of meld the blush into my contour. I love using multiple blushes. Like, I feel like we still have yet to really see it become a trend mainstream where people are applying multiple blushes. Like Sunset Blush was like a start of it, but it was still a very specific color scheme. If I look very closely, I can see that it is not a completely matte blush. It does have a very slight pearl to it, which probably is what enables it to blend, but it's not emphasizing my texture like at all. Like if I turn my face, it's catching light, it's not matte, but it's not really showing texture. My pores don't feel emphasized, so I don't mind how it looks on me, even though it's not completely matte. Like, for me to see the pearl and sparkle in it, I have to like hold the mirror this close to my face to see it. I don't mind the any sort of sparkle that it might have. I don't think it's a problem on me personally. But I think this is like this formula is already so divisive. This color is going to be even more divisive. Like, you either like this color or you hate this color. So if you don't think this color is for you, buy it in a cheaper version first before trying to spend $40 on this. Like, I would say get a Korean version first. Like, you could get this Holika one, this Peach Smashing blush. I don't know if it's still available, but you can get something like this in this kind of clear plastic packaging for like $5 to $7. Do that first before deciding to buy an expensive lilac tone blush. I am still mad that Oden's Eye never brought back their original highlighting range, so I refuse to use Lavender Talk today, just out of pure wanting to be contrarian. I'm not buying that release because I'm so mad that they are not bringing back the original highlighter colors. Like, and I also need to reorganize my makeup collection anyways, because I feel like some of my items have gotten lost in the sauce again. I like reorganize my makeup collection once every quarter. It just helps me see what I have. But today I'm just going to go ahead and use this. This is the Lav Dreams Super Shock Highlighter. This is definitely not available anymore. I do really want to get the new gen of Korean highlighters. I just don't know if I should go through with it or not, because just like for budgetary reasons. I really want the ESPOIR ones, but I also wanted the Clio ones, but then I thought, I don't know. The only reason I wanted the Clio ones was because they were part of the Co Short collection, which is a new cat collection from Clio, but the highlighters aren't really, they don't have like cats on them or anything, so I feel like they're just being thrown in there to just fill it out. So then I thought maybe I shouldn't get those and I'll just get the ESPOIR ones instead, but I don't know, the ESPOIR ones, one of the shades I really wanted was sold out. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud now. I still am mad I don't have all of the giant like clamshell packaging Super Shock highlighters because they're just so collectible. I only have 2 and I'm still mad about it. I'm gonna go ahead and do my lashes now, so I'm gonna go pop off camera and then I'll be back and you'll see me in a couple seconds. Lashes are on. This lash is on very precariously. It might pop off. And I did put on some lower lash mascara. My lower lashes are looking a lot better these days now that they finally have decided to grow back in. So yeah. I do want to, of course, go over and add some like definition to the outer corners. I'm going to take a black eyeliner and I'm going to use this on, first off I'm going to use this like right on the inner corners here, like that. And then I am going to take a little bit, and I think it'll help if I just emphasize the outer corner just a little bit. Almost, it's a similar effect to drawing fake lashes, but I'm just drawing little like, I'm just really hugging the lower lash line. The liner I used is from Shiseido, but unlike most of the products from Shiseido, I actually don't like these, which is very disappointing. So I'm going to do some lip liner. I have been seeing a lot of new lip liners hit the market, and for as boring as they are, I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been, you know, I get in the mood where I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit bored of the lip liners I have. For those who have been keeping track, I have basically not changed lip liners in years. Pretty much ever since I started this channel, I've always been running through my Jaclyn ones, and I also recently started using the Romand ones, and I have my Buxom ones. Like, that just hasn't really changed. So I've been kind of in the mood for a new lip liner, but like at the same time it's like, money, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of get the urge. I'm not sure though, I mean, we'll see. I'm probably not going to buy any new lip liners. If anything, I'll just buy more shades of the Romand one, or maybe I'll buy a couple more Korean ones. But yeah, I don't know. I was going to do like a blackened-ish color, but for all my talk about wanting to try all of them, I've actually never ended up buying any of them, because a lot of the ones I was interested in, like the Fui one and the Keep in Touch one and stuff, I think they're all plumping, and I've heard they can be kind of painful, and I'm just really not really wanting to deal with that. So I don't actually have any right now. In my Look Healthy store order, I did add in 2 glosses from Girl Cult that I've been wanting to try for several months now, so I'm wondering if those will do it. And I still do have a couple I want to try. I think there's like a new lip pot from Romand or something. I have a couple ideas that I may just throw into my Estelle cart and just try despite the pain, because I just really want to try a blackened lip gloss and I haven't gotten one yet. Like, I think I may end up just getting the Isamaya ones, but I don't know. Like, for all my talk about having one, for some reason I don't actually have one yet, really. Oh yeah, I remember now. Sorry, I'm not going to use the 2/4 one. I was going to use the Nocturna from Nabla. This is their Beyond Jelly formula. I'm going to use this today. I like temporarily forgot I had this, and I was like, wait, hold on. I was thinking about this last night. So the one thing that I noticed with the Nabla Beyond Jelly formula is that their lip swatches are like so aesthetically pretty. Like, definitely they all probably have lip filler, but wow, their swatches were definitely like they took a page from like Asian marketing, because they totally got me. Like, I wanted like all the colors just because of how pretty their lip swatches looked. If you really like more like glowy, balmy and jelly like formulas, but you hate how soft and melty the current iterations are, then I think you're really gonna like this. Like, if you want something that's shiny like the YSL Candy Glaze sticks, but you hate how soft they are, or you want something like the trend of the clicky balm pens, but you don't like how soft they are, I think you'll really like these, because as you can see, after a couple layers, it is quite pigmented, and it's not as thick because it's not as soft, but because it's not as soft, it's not as messy. So I honestly really like these, and I think I am gonna go ahead and get more colors. This is not my first time using it, it's just been a while since I've used it last. I actually think these are super underrated. the Beyond Jelly formula from Nabla. I don't know. I feel like these need to be talked about more. Like, I know they were out of stock at Ulta for a while, but they're in stock now. Like, more people should be talking about these. Okay, that matched. That definitely matched. But I really do want it to be a little bit glossier. So what I'm going to do, I do have one blackish formula. I have one. I'll be honest, this burns a little bit. It feels a little bit warm on me, but I'll put up with it for the sake of the video. I just want this to be a little bit more blackened, and I also wanted it to be a little bit more glossy. This was the first blackened formula that I tried, which got me really into the idea of using them. But formula-wise, I am very sensitive to blumping. I can barely put up with this, so anything more painful than this, because like if it's like a cool mint, I can tolerate it. It's cool mint, but it's also a little bit hot, and so I'm just like, so anything worse than that, it's a no from me. So when I saw that all the Korean products were plumping, I was like, I'm kind of scared. But anyways, my bangs need a trim, and I actually do really want to go and get my hair color redone, because it is just, at this point, it is so faded. It looks so unflattering, and it's very expensive for me to get it done, but it's probably been like 3 months since I last got it done, and I like to go and treat myself, so I think I do want to get it done. And I originally was going to ask about going to purple, but if I go to purple, it's very hard to go back to a different color, so I think I'm going to ask if I can do like ask if I can do something a little bit more orange, because I really want to see if I can get the same color on my ends as Zhongli's hair. I kind of want to see if I can pull it off, and then I really want to get his hair and then I really want to see if I can get or 3D print the diamond hair clip that he uses to keep his ponytail in place. And I just want to have like Zhongli hair, because I think my hair is long enough to actually pull it off. But my bangs need to be trimmed, so I'm just going to clip them back today. The AC just kicked on, sorry. There we go. Now I actually look like I have hair. Okay, this is going to be my finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this purpley toned look. I feel like, I don't know, I really want to do more warm tone makeup looks, because I haven't done them in so long, but the internet also is kind of oversaturated with them, so I also want to like make sure I keep doing looks that are a little bit more different. And I also have been meaning to use this palette from Sinful Echoes for a very long time now, so I'm really glad that I finally got around to using it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have really been wanting to get into just the dead, grungy, zombie black lip. Like, I just want to look like I'm dead. I just want to look like I spent too much time at the pool and got too cold. Like, that's just what I've been into lately. And yeah, I think that's it from me, so I don't really have too much else to say. If you have any questions about any other products I used, feel free to ask, and I'll see you guys next week in another video. So until then, please do take care. Please stay cool. It is so hot outside. Bye-bye.